Ferguson Police Department's YouTube channel, so you can access and download those clips that we'll have today. If you have any questions, if you have any issues accessing them, you can give me a call at the Ferguson Police Department, okay? So we're gonna have, Chief Doyle's gonna open up, and again, if you want to have access to not only the clips that we're gonna show here today, but there are a couple of clips that we can't load, just some technical issues with my computer. So, but they will all be on the YouTube channel, and they will all be labeled, and they will all have an explanation for what you're seeing, okay?
You ready? All right. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So today we gathered here today to talk about some of the events that took place on August the 9th. Today's purpose is to release some of the body cam footage of some of the things that took place, along with some camera footage for some of our businesses that was able to capture some of the events. So without further ado, let's go ahead and load up the first clip there, Pat. Internet's running a little slow, so it takes about 15-30 seconds to load up. But as it's loading, just want to let you know this protest started out very peaceful during this time. This first clip is going to show you as the night progressed, individuals began approaching the fence and began shaking it. Yeah. So as you can see, on the north end, we have a police car stationed at South Florissant Road and Adams. Lights on, and you can't see from this end, but on the south end, you have a fully marked police car with lights on, blocking traffic at South Florissant Road and Suburban. Is this clip 2 or? Yes. Yeah, so this second clip is actually going to show individuals actually shaking the fence here, trying to destroy the fence. This video is taken from the police department. The gentleman at the bottom is Mr. Keith Rose, who's assisting the protesters. The gentleman with the bullhorn is our subject that assaulted Mr. Brown. Can we go to the... Okay. As you can see, they don't look peaceful to me. It looks as people were trying to attempt to bridge or break into our police station after we had erected this fence. Gentleman's checking out the lot. What you see there is Mr. Bishop Derek Robinson, who's also assisting the protesters. Yeah, this is the third attempt. So what you're going to see next is our subject with the bullhorn, who ultimately assaulted my police officer, is going to take his shirt and wipe his fingerprints off the fence. Let's go to the next one. The approach. Yeah. So with the next clip you're going to see is that it was at this time, once the fence started to break, gave directions or instructions to my police officers to go out and effect an arrest based off of the property damage. And what you're looking at now is the body-worn camera from one of the officers that was entrusted to make this arrest. And again, the full videos will be released after this. So we had a team stationed at the fire department on the north end, and we had another team stationed at the police department on the south end. So there was also some rhetoric that was out there that says that the police officers ran and charged the crowd. As you can see from the body-worn camera, as my police officers exit this building, they're walking calmly to interact with the individual who they know they want to arrest. As you can see, that's the south end down there, suburban, where you see the police car with the lights on. Let me speed it up a little bit, Pat. So again, as you can see, no officers are running or charging a crowd. They're walking towards the individual who they have identified as responsible for damaging the fence. This lighting is horrible. What you're about to see is the individual with the hood on here that's running. Where is he at? Yeah, right here. He's running around the van. He's going to run around the van. It's the individual that ran towards my officer. As you can see, charged him and knocked him down violently. Yes. Let's show the other one. And again, the rhetoric out there was that the officer slipped and fell. I think it's a clear indication that my officer was charged and was hit violently by this individual. Yeah, so this gives a clear angle of one of the camera footages from the business there to show a clear what actually happened. At the bottom of the screen where you see my officer Travis Brown attempt to stop the subject, in which again he plowed into him as if he was a football player. So the subject is running over here. My officers are coming from that end. Officer Brown is right here, moving over here. He stands right there. Pat, can you replay that again, as much as I hate to do this? back a little bit more. Stop it. Thank you. Ms. Bell, you were talking about the charges.
So we've announced new charges relative to the protest over the weekend. These charges are in addition to the charges that we announced on Saturday. And like we did on Saturday, because of the strong public interest of these activities, we're releasing some of this information that may not be on CaseNet as of yet. But for any other details, you can still get that information when it's updated. We filed, in addition to the charges that we had filed before, we filed a new charge against Elijah Gant. This is the defendant we previously charged with assault first degree for the serious injury to Officer Travis Brown. We've also now charged Mr. Gant for assault fourth degree, a Class A misdemeanor for kicking another officer in the head. We filed a number of charges against another defendant, which was property damage first, a Class C felony, attempting to disarm an officer, resisting arrest, assault fourth degree. With that defendant, we allege that he pulled on a large steel gate at the entrance to the Ferguson Police Department, breaking the gate, and the damage does exceed $750, which is the statutory amount. Soon after, when officers were arresting Mr. Gant for assault in the first degree, that defendant grabbed an officer's service weapon and tried to pull the gun out of the officer's holster. That defendant then broke free from the officer's grasp and disappeared into the crowd. And today we filed a new charge against a different defendant, and that is for destruction of a property in the police department. And then also we filed other charges against two new defendants, one for resisting arrest and assault fourth degree, special victim, the other for property damage first. And those cases are still pending, so there'll be more information soon enough. And I do want to emphasize a few things. First and foremost, you cannot interfere with a lawful arrest. But for the restraint and discipline of these officers, this situation could have been a lot worse. In a situation like that, you have to understand that there are no metal detectors. Officers don't know who has what, and with a crowd like that, they don't know who has weapons or what their intent is. And when they're trying to effectuate an arrest, it is creating a very dangerous set of circumstances to interfere with that. We recognize that folks have their right to free speech, they have their right to peacefully protest, and I believe this department did a tremendous job of allowing these, what were originally peaceful protests, to take place. And lastly, and I want to be clear in this in no uncertain terms, we've heard what was happening earlier, which led up to some of this stuff. And as a community, as a region, we have to decide what we're doing here. What is the goal? What are the goals? As was mentioned at earlier points in these protests, if the goal is about the case that happened 10 years ago, let me be clear, there is no dispute on whether or not charges can be filed. There is none. The Department of Justice, which is the investigative body with the most resources in the world, not just the region or the state or the country, but the world, investigated that case and concluded that charges couldn't be filed. Every investigative body that has reviewed that case has reached the same conclusion. Our office looked at every piece of evidence, and absent new evidence, or evidence unbeknownst to us, there is no dispute. This is not a intellectual debate. There is no evidence to move forward on any type of prosecution in that case. So if that's the goal with respect to that case, then this movement ends. If the goal is criminal justice reform, if it's community policing, which we see in this department, if the goal is court reforms, which we have seen in this region, if this goal is to expand diversion and treatment programs to make this a more fair and just justice system, then that work has been going on and will continue, because we all know that there's more work to be done. But I just want to be clear in no uncertain terms. Where we are and where we go from here is an uncomfortable and tough conversation that we have to have, because now we have an officer who is fighting for his life, and I have to ask for what? So again, I want to take note of the fact that as a community, we are all here in support of Officer Brown. Not just law enforcement, not just our office. We have clergy here, we have members of the community, and we are all here praying for a full recovery for Officer Brown and supporting his family. And that's what we're doing as a community. And our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers are with him and his family, and will continue to be, and that will continue to be our priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bill. Before I open it up for questions, a couple little statements here. Those who say that it was just some fencing, it was just fencing at the police department, please understand that this is taxpayer fencing that's at this police department. Our citizens approved for this fencing to be at our police department. The other thing I want to make mention of is that those of you, and I think you know who you are, that are in leadership roles in this region have talked about, got a lot of face time, talking about the anniversary of this coming up. If you haven't condemned this act or condemned what happened to my officer, then you're part of the problem. And lastly, I want to say to Travis Brown and his family, I got you. These police officers sitting behind me, they got you. The clergy members sitting behind me, they got you. This community sitting behind me, we got you. I'll open it up for any questions you may have.
Can you explain the financial cost that you reached for the fence damage?
$3,000.
Can you explain how you got to that number?
We had a repair made on it.
Can you expand on the aspect that you just talked about, considering that some, if not all, of the people charged are not from Ferguson, are not residents here? How do you reconcile?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, the individual was charged was from East St. Louis. And again, this happens year after year after year. And I mentioned it in the first press conference, the Ferguson residents here, they're very passionate about this city. They want to heal too, man, everybody knows what took place 10 years ago. And there's a lot of reform that came out of that. Again, you know, I don't have to keep repeating myself. I mean, police departments across the nation now have body-worn cameras. Most police departments have been through all, you know, the implicit bias training, everything, de-escalation training. And I mentioned this before, you know, just the city of Ferguson alone, we handled 30,000 calls of police services last year. And think about this, because I don't think it's really resonating with the media or our community. 30,000 calls, I mean, that's over 30-some thousand citizens' contacts, and we had less than 1% use of force incident. I mean, man, don't you think that that is just remarkable? That shows you that the police are just not out here just beating everybody up as the rhetoric would seem.
Chief Doyle, some people say that characterizing it as Elijah charging the officer is wrong, and that what it really was two people running in opposite directions and colliding. What's your response to that?
I'm trying to be, you know, it's hard for me. Just the question alone, it bothers me because it wasn't two people colliding. I mean, if you look at the video, the officer is standing there waiting to try to catch this guy. It wasn't a collision. He's standing there. This guy tackled my guy like he was a football player. That was a ridiculous.
Chief, can you talk about this is just a sad reminder of first responders putting lives on the line?
Every day. And these individuals that's all sitting back here, most of the people in these communities that they protect, they don't even know these individuals. You know, they got wives, they got mamas, they got daddies, they got kids. These individuals want to go back to their families too. Pretty much the same. He's still in serious critical condition.
Were there any complaints filed on any of the police protests?
I haven't seen any complaints.
This is for Chief Doyle and Wesley Bell. You guys talk about people who are pivotal in this movement. I think Corey Bush, she's been very vocal about this. Would you say she's culpable for what happened over the weekend?
We're not gonna go there and start pointing fingers. Hold on, y'all, hold on. I can answer the question, man. First and foremost, this is not the time to start pointing fingers and blaming folks. This is the time that we need to start bringing the temperature down and coming together. That's why you see the folks here. People are coming together from all aspects and parts of this community. And so we ask everyone in their circles, whether they be large, small, using their platforms, to start talking about how we move together as a region. That's what we're focused on, and that's what everyone here and around this region is focused on.
Lieutenant West, this is one last question.
How many people have been charged now, new today, and do you expect more charges?
With any investigation, this is an ongoing investigation, and as we find more evidence or uncover more evidence, if we find actions that rise to the level of criminal conduct, then we will charge them. As we said before, we respect everyone's First Amendment rights. You have a right to peacefully protest, but when you cross the line of harming folks or in damaging property, you're going to be held accountable. And so if we find that there is reason or justification or actions that rise to that level, then that's exactly what we'll do.
Chief, we have final remarks.
Yeah, sure. Just, you know, I would ask the community and just the general public as a whole for one last plea. You know, I know that, you know, no police department is perfect. I get it. Nobody is. No country is perfect. But what I will ask you to do, you know, let's recognize the good that has taken place in our police department. Let's recognize the reform that has taken place. Let's recognize the good work that our officers are doing. Our officers just last week just chasing somebody, just caught a burglary first subject that was breaking into a house. I mean, these are the type of things that our police officers are out here doing on a daily basis, and they need to be recognized and praised for those things. So, again, I thank you.
On behalf of the citizens, Ferguson City Council, we stand here today in solidarity with our police department, our police chief. We have mayors from all over the county. It's 88 counties in St. Louis County. They are here in solidarity with us today. Ferguson has made a lot of strides, and this one act is not going to stop us from moving forward. We just finished giving away 1,000 field backpacks for children to go to school. Positive things. Our Parks Department, every Friday night, we have a band at 501 Plaza for citizens and anyone who want to come and enjoy themselves. The Police Department just did a splash for the kids to play in bubbles. I didn't get in them. But the Ferguson City Council, we are united, and we are going to continue to move this city forward. We are complying with the DOJ. Since Chief Doyle has been here, he has hired the necessary staff to do the work of the DOJ. When Chief Doyle came here, our staffing was at 49%. Today it is at 76% with women, more women on any police department. I had an opportunity to go with Chief yesterday to visit the mother and the sister. A mom's heart is broken over foolishness. A sister sitting there trying to figure out who's going to come from the family to take the next watch to sit with Officer Brown. The wives of the first responder, Yolanda Doyle, organized them to make certain the family has what they need around the clock. So this one act is not going to stop Ferguson. We are resilient, and we know how to bounce back.
Pat just reminded me, there will be a prayer vigil at the police station this evening at 5:30 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for coming.